Hey there, it's Seb Frey here with another exciting episode of Seb Frey TV. I want to share a couple of things that happened with you today. First one was that I was on a podcast, doing a podcast, recording BayToBayPodcast with Alicia Heber of Vacasa. Vacasa does vacation rental property management. And, vacation rental managers, they charge pretty hefty fees. And she wouldn't tell me what they charge because, of course, it varies from property to property and region to region, right? But they do have one fee. It's a set fee. It's not like a la carte. You can choose what services you want. They just take a certain fixed fee. Well, I guess it's a percentage of gross or something like that. But it's probably a substantial amount of money. And, they actually have a guarantee. They guarantee you they'll make more money than you could make on your own or with whatever property management company you were using previously. Now, that's a pretty heavy guarantee, but what it speaks to is it speaks to the confidence in the value that they provide, right? Even though they charge you a fee, they think that they provide more value even than their fee is, right? Not just they provide the exact amount of value that you get from their fee, they provide more value than their fee. And that, I think, is pretty crucial thing to wrap your mind around, right? A lot of people think that, vacation rental management company, they're just going to take my fee and not provide me much in the way of value, right? And the reason why I find that to be so interesting is because I think that a lot of people think the same thing about realtors or, for example, lawyers, right? Or a lot of people in different professional services. People think that these people extract value rather than add value. So there's a Facebook group and it's called Lab Coat Agents. And I went on there today and I posted a question and I said, hey, are you worried about being replaced by an app, right? I mean, if all you're doing is putting a real estate sign in the ground, taking a few pictures, getting some contracts on signatures, shuffling paperwork, putting a home on the MLS, and shepherding a deal through till closing, if that's all you're doing, then don't be surprised if in a few years or whatever, you get replaced by an app. And by an app, I mean a combination of hardware, software, and services. Many of these services will be provided by, humans, but in what capacity, that sort of remains to be seen. And I said, okay, so beyond that, what is your value proposition? Like, what value do you provide above those kinds of things that probably can be done by an app? Like, what do you do to add value to the transaction? And it's only been a few hours, and there's been a few replies, but interestingly enough, basically none of the replies, no agents who replied so far, have been able to articulate what is their value proposition beyond just taking care of those simple things. So that's pretty interesting, and I do have a value proposition for my services, but I don't want to talk about that here on Seb Frey TV because, this is not really a pitch about, my real estate services, but I just want people to think. Whatever you are doing, whether you work in an organization, whether you're just a cog in a wheel, we all need to think about what value we provide, what value that we add, because I think by continually adding value to your job and into people's lives, for example, that is what will bring you ever increasing levels of success. And by success, I also mean happiness and personal fulfillment, right? Don't be a taker, be a giver. But how do you be a giver and how do you articulate that, right? That, I think, is a really interesting question which we all need to think about. And I will be talking more about that on Seb Frey TV and similar issues in the future. All right, that's it for this exciting episode of Seb Frey TV. Thanks for watching, and I'll yak at you again soon.